Hi, welcome back guys. This is your friend, the MHA What If with another fanfiction. This is the move of what if Deku ranked 8th and entered you a nervous? All credits for this video go to their respective authors, so please support the real author. Check out the link in the description for more details. Please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. Now let's get into the fanfic. Kira POV. I sigh. I'm laying on my bed and staring at the ceiling. It's the day before I got to UA. I placed the top 10 and made it to the hero course. I placed 8th. Someone named Momo placed ahead of me by 3 points. I'm nervous. What if the others don't like me? I hear a knock on my door and sit up. Enter. I say and my dad enter. He looks tired from his office job. Hey kiddo. He says. I move over so he can sit down beside me. Hey dad. I say, you nervous? Yes. I nod. You'll be fine. You'll do fine. He is interrupted by the phone ringing. He groans and I grin slightly. He works endlessly and is always called into work at random hours. He stands and answers the phone. I lay back in my bed. I should go to bed soon. I will have a hard day tomorrow. Time skipped to 6 a.m. I awake to my alarm. I yawn and stretch. I wince when it stretched the scar on my back and it sends a streak of pain up my back. I tiredly walk to my closet and pull out the UA uniform that was mailed to me. I walk to the bathroom and take a shower. After my shower, I dry my hair on the way to the dining room. My dad isn't home yet. I go to the pantry and pull out a loaf of bread that I pop in the toaster while I throw the wet towel in my room. I glance at the clock. 6, I sigh. An hour and a half until I leave the house. High school starts at 8:30 and I have to walk to the school and I need to be early. I go back to the toaster and eat my toast. I sit on the couch and watch the news until it's till to leave. Thankfully, the collar of the uniform hides most of the scar on the right side of my neck. My hair should hide the rest. The scar goes from my ear to my collarbone, so it is kind of hard to hide. The long scar on my left leg hurts as I walk to the school. Eventually, I reach the doors of the school. I seem to one of the very few students here early that I start to walk through the halls. Through request, I was one of the few girls with sweatpants like the boys. I looks at the map that was given to the first years like me to find our classrooms. I find class 1A and look up to the huge doors. I take a deep breath and let it out. I'm about 10 minutes early. That gives me some time to meet my classmates. Or to just panic. I open the doors. Inside is a tall, loud, set-off-looking blonde with his feet on his desk ignoring the dark-haired boy with glasses who is chopping his hand and yelling at the boy for disrespecting the desks. They go quiet as I enter. The blonde looks at me for a second and grunts, returning back to his phone. The boy with the glasses swiftly walks towards me with a serious look on his face. Hello fellow classmate. I'm Tenya Ida. What's your name? I stutter. Yua. Akira. I say. The glasses boy bows in greeting. I quickly but nicely tell him I'm going to my seat. I sit down and put my head in my hands and sigh loudly. I look up and the blonde glanced at me before looking back down. Not soon after, others started pouring into the room and I prepare to have some sort of greeting. When the classroom is full and all the seats are taken, it is loud in the room. I put my head and my arms on my desk and try to block out the sound. I feel a tap on my shoulder and I jump. There is a red head. He grins when I look up at him. His teeth reminds me of a shark's teeth. Hey, I'm Ijiro Kirishima. What's your name? Akira. I responded. He nods. Nice to meet you, Akira. Are we just waiting for the teacher to arrive? I shake my head. No. He's already here. I say, point to the desk. Kirishima looks over there. Here a tired-looking man with scarves over his neck is climbing out of a bright yellow sleeping bag. The class goes silent. So, you noticed me, problem child? That's a first. I'm your teacher. The entire class is shocked except me. Teacher? They all yell. Take your seats now. The whole class shifts and goes to their seats. I sit behind a boy with half and half hair. I sit and wait for more instructions. The man waits until the class is completely silent. First thing we are doing is testing your quirks. Put on your gym clothes and meet me on the field. I sigh. Not an introduction, but I'm hoping the gym clothes have long breaths. Time skip to the locker rooms. In the locker rooms, I take the gym uniform. It is blue and has some white lines on it. Thankfully, the gym uniform does have long breaths. I sigh and take my shirt off my back to the others. I hope they don't notice. Of course, the universe isn't on my side because I hear a loud gasp behind me. What happened to your back? I hear someone ask. I turn to see a pink-skinned girl with black eyes and a tall black-haired girl. It's nothing, I say before putting the gym shirt on. The scar on my back is huge and bright, making it easy to see. I finish changing and enter the field. The blonde and some others are there already. I stand next to Kirishima because he is the only one I sorta know. He says hi and I return the greeting. When everyone is in the field, the teacher speaks up. I want to test the limits of your quirk. You will use your quirks to throw this ball as far as you can. He holds up a baseball. The blonde scoffs and a greenite looks at him. Kastuki Bakugu. Since you placed first on the entrance exam, you will go first. The blonde takes the ball and throws it using explosions. The teacher holds up the score 705. That's a nice score. We go in the order we placed. Time skip to Akira's turn cause I'm lazy. The teacher calls my name and I take a breath. I walk forward and take the ball. I stand in the circle. I place the ball in my hand and use my quirk. The familiar blue flames appear. I make sure not to burn the ball and use the air portion of my quirk to throw it. As it's soaring through the sky, a bolt of pain shoots up my back from my scar. I gasp and stumble back. The teacher comes up to me. You all right? I nod and go to stand back next to Kirishima. He gives me a comforting smile and I return it. The teacher holds up the meter once. I get back to Kirishima. 723.1. I stare at it. I blacked better than the blonde? He glare at me and I look away. Bakugu POV. The DMN scaredy cat, black-haired girl is called and she takes a breath like she is scared. Well, she is just throwing the ball. She takes she ball and steps up to the circle. She places the ball in her right hand and blue flames surround it. I look to half and half. He is watching with curiosity. She throws the ball and it soars through the air. The hell? How could fire do that? She gasps suddenly and stumbles back, a flash of pain covering her face. What happened? Did her DMN quirk hurt her? I scoff. Pathetic. The pink alien speaks up. I don't know why she started talking to me, but she does. I want to drown her out. In the changing rooms, she had a huge scar covering most of her back. I wonder if that's what hurt her. The scar? Where the hell would she have gotten that? She limps to stand next to the DMN red-headed shark. He grins at her and she gives him a pained grin back. The sleeping bag holds up the meter. 723.1. What the FCK? How did she place better than me? She gapes at it, then looks at me. I glare at her and she turns away. I snarl under my breath. I'll question her later. Kira POV. We get back to the classroom and my back hurts less. We get back to our seats and the teacher gives us more instructions. You will introduce yourself and your quirk. I am Shota Aizawa. My quirk is erasure. I can erase the quirk of anyone I stare at. I start. We have to do an introduction. I groan. We go row by row, person by person. When it's my turn, I stand up as they all did. I'm Akira Tanaka. My quirk is windfire. I have blue flames that I can mix with a wind quirk and can control my fire and wind to cut through things or do anything I want it to. Just as I'm about to sit down, I hear a gruff voice ask me something. And what about the DMN scar on your back? Is that SHT from your quirk? I freeze. I look up to see the blonde. I shake my head and say nothing else. I sit down. The half and half boy had asked to skip before me, but the teacher made him go after me. He stands. I'm Shoto Todoroki. My quirk is half cold, half hot. On my left I can use fire and my right I can use ice. I jolt. I decided to avoid him. He looks at me when I jump. He sits back down. We finish the introductions and our quirks. I learn all of my classmates' names and quirks. I only need to avoid Todoroki and Bakugu. The tall black-haired girl from the locker room was Momo, the one who placed above me barely in the entrance exam. At the end of the day, I walked back home. I was only a few feet from the door when Kirishima runs up to me. Hey Akira! He yells. I turn around. Behind him walking is Mina, Bakugo, and Denki. Yeah. I ask. Wanna come with us to the new coffee shop across town? I think about it. Yeah, just let me text my dad. I say. He nods and runs back to the others. I pull out my phone and text my dad. I'm going to a coffee shop in town with some classmates. He takes a second but he responds. Made some friends? Alright, have fun. I roll my eyes and put my phone back in my pocket. I turn to see the group has caught up to me. I jump back. Oh, hey. I say. My dad said I can go. I saw looking only at Kirishima. He grins. We walk to the coffee shop. It's a small little place but it's nice. I mostly talk with Mina and Kirishima. Denki kept trying to talk to Bakugo but the blonde was ignoring him. In the coffee shops we place our order. I place down some money I have in my pocket to pay for my portion. Basic. The blonde says when I say my order. When I'm done I turn to him. At least I'm ordering something and not just standing there. I say with a hint of annoyance. He glares at me and I look away. Kirishima steps between us slightly. Hey Baku bro. Chill out. She can like anything she wants. The angry blonde grunts and stands there. When we walk out he is leading the group and not talking to anyone. There is a slight breeze. My hair moves slightly. I don't mind it at first but I should have. Bakugo POV. I'm standing in the front of the group. The extras are talking behind me. I don't mind them. They are just extras after all. There is a slight breeze. I turn to tell them to shut up when I see Akira. Her head is tilted up at the sky enjoying the breeze. The hair at the right side of her neck moves and I see the long thick scar from her ear to under the collar of her uniform. I pause and the others pause too. Hey extra. What with the scar? She opens her eyes and looks at me. She raises a hand to her neck. She looks away. The others turn and see the same scar. What happened? Are you all right? Kirishima asks. She nods. Did someone do that? Mina asks. She nods again looking out at the street. She suddenly turns and walks away. I'll see you guys tomorrow. She says stiffly. What happened extra? I yell. She turns slightly and says in a monotone voice that reminds me of Shoto. A knife, and walks away. I watch as the Diamond girl walks away. How the hell would she have gotten a scar from a fucking knife? Did her parents do that? The extras are staring after the girl. I turn around and continue walking. I act like nothing happened but I am curious and angry at the same time. Kira POV. I turn and walk away. They saw it. They will probably hate me. They probably will judge me or make fun of me for it like the kids in middle school did. I hear loud footsteps getting closer. Confused I turn. I see Kirishima running towards me. Behind him are the others. All except Bakugo. Kirishima reaches my side breathing slightly. You alright? I nod and continue walking. I shift my hair to hide the scar again. He noticed and walks in front of me stopping me from walking. Hey, why are you hiding it? It's nothing to be ashamed of. Look, I have one too. He points to the small scar above his eye. I shake my head. It's different. Mine's bigger and I got it in a worse way than you did. Say a step to the side to continue walking and he does the same. The others have nearly caught up. I don't care how you got it. I got a scar too. It's nothing to hide. So why are you hiding it? I look down to the ground. I got bullied in middle school because of it and I didn't want UA to be the same. He looks shocked. Middle school? How early did you get it? I got it when I was 5. I say. The others now surround me. I don't look at them. You got cut from a knife when you were 5 that gave you that? Denki asked. I nodded. They stare. Do you want to talk about it? Mina asks. I shrug. I must. Can we ask questions about it? Kirishima asked softly. I nod. I take a step to continue walking and they fall in step with me. We stay silent for a moment before Kirishima asks a question. Do you have other scars than that? I nod. What ones? Denki asks. I have one on my leg from falling down a few flights of stairs. I have the big one on my back and the one on my neck. I say. What is the one on your back from? Mina asks. I don't answer. They accept my silence. Do the scars ever hurt? Denki asks. Yeah. Most of the time actually. I've gotten used to it over the years. I say, if you got the scar on your neck, when did you get the others? Kirishima asks gently. I hesitate before answering. The same time. A day or so after each other. There is a silence. If it's all right to ask, how did you get all of them? Kirishima asks again. I turn to him. You really want to know? They all nod. You won't bully me at all? Or make fun of me? Or no longer be my friends? I ask. They all looked shocked. Of course not. No matter how you got your scars, we would never do anything like that. Kirishima says, and the other two quickly agree. I take a breath and tell them. I was kidnapped by a villain when I was held in their hold for nearly a week. They tied me up and threw me down a few flights of stairs. I broke my left leg. It was so bad that the entire leg bone was sticking out through the skin. That's how I got my leg scar. I wear long breaths to hide it. It goes from my thigh to my ankle. The one on my back is from being frozen with ice. They left the ice on for 2 days, causing it to scar. It was one of the men's quirks. It was unbearable. The one on my neck is from being held at knife point when the heroes came to rescue me. The man cut my neck, giving me this scar before he ran away. They caught them, of course. I had several bruises and other cracked bone, but these were the major scars. They stared. Mina started to cry. I shrug. I've healed. I've gotten used to the pain. The heroes helped. The only problem is I have a fear of ice quirks, and sometimes stairs give me panic attacks. It's stupid though. It's not stupid. You went through something that would have been impossible for some of us Hero Corps students to go through at age that's heroic in itself. Kirishima says. I smile softly. He pulls me into a hug and I hug him back. We eventually reach my house. This is your house? It's nice. Your family must be rich. Denki says, pointing to my house. I took at it and shrug. Not really. My dad works most hours and is rarely home. I visit my mother after she had custody over me for 14 years. She wasn't the best. Had a drug and alcohol addiction. She went mad a few years before I left. He would hit and throw me against walls. I'm only child. Not the best family. I say casually. What the hell? Your life is so messed up. Denki says, looking bad for saying something. Not really. I enjoy the silence and alone time sometimes. It gives me time to think and draw. I open the wooden gate and step through the other side. You draw? I would love to see that. Kirishima says. Maybe I'll bring my notebook tomorrow. I say, waving. They wave and walk away. I open the door and sigh. Good. I just trauma dumped on my friends. They probably hate me now. Time skipped to next morning. The alarm goes off. My dad probably came home late last night. I went to sleep at 11 and he still wasn't home. I stretch and once again flinch when my back hurts. I stand and take my clothes from the chair I had thrown them on. I don't take a shower today. I go to the kitchen and instead cook pancakes. I peek in my father's room to see him in bed. I make some pancakes for him and leaves them on the table. I go to my room with my food and scroll on my phone before I leave. I remember to grab my notebook before leaving. Kirishima had asked to see my art and I was fine with that. I walk to school and I am there about the same time as I was yesterday. I open the door and see Bakugo and Ida arguing again. The blonde looks at me when I walked in. He stared at me and I stared back. He looked away first with a grunt. I take my seat and wait. I pull out my phone to see a text from my dad. Thanks for the pancakes. They're great. I love your cooking. I smile softly. I hear a gruff voice in my ear. You can cook. I jump and drop my phone over the edge of the desk in front of me. I reach for it then sigh. I look up to see Bakugo leaning over my shoulder. You know it's rude to read people's texts over their shoulders. I say. He shrugs. You stand and he takes a step back. He's 5 feet 8 inches and I'm 5 feet 6 inches, so he is slightly taller than me. I walked to where my phone was and picked it up. Yeah, I can cook. What about it? I ask. He shrugs and goes back to his desk. I stare at him for a second. I sigh and sit back down. I don't really care right now that I put my head in my arms and lay on my desk. I haven't been getting good sleep because of the nightmares. I put my phone back in my bag. I decided to take a nap while I can. I about 15 minutes, so that should be at least better than nothing, I guess. Time skipped to 10 minutes later. I jolt up gasping. I try to distance myself between the dream person and me. The chair stops aim and I and pushing away at my desk. I breathe and look down. I try to calm myself down. I can feel eyes on me. Turns and see Bakugas. I look away S&D pull out my phone again. Nothing. I look at the clock. 5 minutes. I should be able to that. I don't like being alone, but I have sorta gotten used to it with my dad working. Bakugu POV. I pretend to put both of my headphones is so glasses stops bothering me. The girl puts her phone in her pocket again and lays her head in her arm on the desk. It looks like she wants to take a nap. I listen to my music with one headphone in. I'm like that for 10 minutes before I see a sudden bust of moment in the direction of the girl. I look and see he trying to get away from something. She is gasping for air and her moments are shaky and quick. She looks down. She then looks at me. Her eyes widen more than they already were and she looks away. She pulls her phone out again and sighs when there is nothing. She looks up at the clock and her face falls. What the hell happened? Did she have a good DMN nightmare? What was it about? Why did she look scared when looking at the clock? I don't decide to question her directly. I'll ask Dunce Face or SHDY Hair. After all, they ran after her yesterday, so they probably know what's up. The first bell rings and the girl visibly relaxes. The extras start pouring in. I see SHTTY Hair and other two from yesterday immediately go to the girl. They say something and the girl pulls out a notebook from her bag and shows it to them. They are obviously amazed. I don't know what in the notebook and I don't really care. The second bell rings and everyone goes to their seats. The sleeping bag immerses and he stands there for a second. Today we will go down to a training ground. We will do hand-to-hand combat. There will be no quirks. You will be paired up by me and Nizu. Meet us down at the entrance. The whole class moves. I go and get changed with the others. Time skip. I forgot to ask the extras when I changed, but I'll ask when we are fighting. We get paid up. I'm fighting Momo. This will be fast. The girl seems to be paired with Shoto. She doesn't seem happy with that for some reason. I walk to SHTTY Shirt and Dunce Face. They turn to me. Hey Baku Dash, I cut them off. What's with the girl? She had a DMN nightmare right before class started. For some reason they look at each other. Then back at me. I don't know why, but for some reason SHTTY Hair gets mad. He puts a hand on my shoulder. He is only slightly shorter than me. If you wanted to know so bad, you could have gone to check on her yesterday with the rest of us. I'm shocked into silence for a moment. Before I can respond, the girl appears behind Kirishima. She gives me a side glance, then looks SHDY Hair. It's fine. He probably didn't care like the PO in my middle school. She walks away and the other two follow her. What happened in her middle school that reminded her of me? What did people do to her in middle school? Why did Kirishima get angry at me like that? Was what I did to Deku what happened to her too? How did she get her scars? What the hell happened? I growl in frustration. Kira POV. I walk away from the blonde. He growls and walks away. I am teamed with Shoto. You will be fine, right? Kirishima asks after the last match before mine finishes. I nod. It's no quirks, remember? I've also trained for years on hand-to-hand combat. My quirk is good for all distances, but it was just an extra precaution in case I couldn't use my quirk. I say. He nods and I walk to the small spot where I will fight the half-and-half boy who sits in front of me. I sigh and go into the familiar battle stance. The boy doesn't seem used to hand-to-hand and quirkless fighting. He tries copy my stance. I see that he has failed. His feet are not far enough apart and his back isn't straight enough. His fist placement is sloppy. His whole form is sloppy, to be more precise. I run at him and he does the same. I jump using his shoulder to propel me. He grunts. I land and turn. I kick his feet out from under him. He falls and quickly gets back up. Once he is up, I take left arm and pin it to his back. I am about to kick his knees in and end the fight when he uses his quirk. He can't use his left due to me holding it, so he uses his right. His ice. He blasts it from his palm and it barely misses my foot. I let go and leap back. I sighs. He thinks it startled me, but it did much more than that. I fall to the ground and start to back away. My heart is starting to race. He turns and sees the loom on my face. He takes a step forward and I whimper and fling a hand to shield my face. He stops. I hear someone run up behind me. They take me in their arms. I cling to them. I start to tremble. I start to remember the memories I don't want to and I start to cry. I hear the person I'm clinging to start to sh me. It's all right. It's all right. I recognize the voice. It's Kirishima. Bakugo POV. I can immediately tell the girl has good experience from hand-to-hand combat. She has a perfect stance while half and half's form is sloppy. She grins. She can tell too. She charges and uses his shoulder to propel herself over him. She turns and knocks his feet out from under him. He quickly stands and she darts behind him and pins his left arm to his back. I can see that all she needs to do is cave his knees in and she wins. But something stops her for a millisecond. Kirishima sees it too. Sheet. The redhead swears. It must be really bad if he is swearing. I turn back to the fight to see a burst of ice come out of the half and half BS his hand. Kirishima bolts forward towards the girl who is crawling away from Shoto. The boy takes a step forward and she flings a hand over her face. Kirishima reaches her and takes her in his arms. She starts to tremble and cry. Kirishima shoos her and repeats, "It's all right. It's all right." Over and over, rocking her gently. Half and half looks stunned and confused. The sleeping bag comes up furious. Todoroki. This is a hand-to-hand combat. I said there is no quirks. Fia turns to face the irritated teacher. It was an accident. I didn't mean to. I'm truly sorry. He looks at Akira who is still sobbing. Kirishima looks up to glare at the half and half BSRD. The teacher sighs and walks towards Kirishima. Will she be all right? He asks gently. The redhead looks down and then back up. Yeah. Just give her a second please. The teacher nods and takes the half and half BSTRD away towards the school. Mina and Denki are holding the rest of the class back from going to the redhead and the girl. I decided to help. It was the best I could do for now. Hey, extras. Give them some space. I yell. Mina and Denki look at me gratefully when everyone backs off. Kira POV. It take a while for me to calm down, but Kirishima helps. He says soothing things while I try to calm down. Eventually he is able to make me stand and we walk back towards the school. I lean on him and he has an arm over my shoulder. We reach the school. My breath is slightly uneven and the trembling has gone down to shivers here and there. He takes me to his dorm. He told me yesterday he doesn't live with his parents. He wanted to live at the school but he visits. He sits in the bed with his back to the wall and I do the same. I place my head on his shoulder and close my eyes. He just sits there and doesn't say anything. He lets me fall asleep on him. Kirishima POV. I wake up. I had accidentally fallen asleep shortly after Akira had. She had fallen asleep on my shoulder after Shoto caused her a panic attack. I'm not blaming him because he didn't know about her past, but it hurt me that she was that terrified. She was so scared she was crying. It pained me and I had wanted to tell it Shoto, but again it wasn't his fault. I look at the clock. 7, it's late. We slept a lot. I'm surprised no one came to wake us up. Aizawa probably told the others to leave us alone. I sigh. I will have to move soon. She needs to go home. She twitches and I look down. Her muscles are tense and she flinches again. Before I can move she bolts up trying to scramble away from something in front of her. Hey, it's all right. It was just a nightmare. I say, crawling in front of her so she can only see me. Was this the nightmares Bakubro said she had this morning? Her eyes are wild but they focus on mine. She starts to tremble and I pull her into a hug. She hugs me back. Why does she make me feel this way? Why is it when she is in pain I'm in pain? My phone buzzed and I pick it up with my left hand, my right still hugging the trembling girl. I see it's from Bakubro. The sleeping bag wants the girl back to take her home. Bring her down. I sigh. She looks at me. Bakubro says that Aizawa wants you. It's time for you to go. She nods and stands up, walking towards the door. Thanks for helping me, she says, and she walks out. I hold my smile until she's gone. Once she's gone I feel empty. I sigh and put my back to the wall again. I stare into nothing for the rest of the night. Kira POV. The next day is a weekend, so we don't have school. I put on my casual clothes that I like. Baggy black sweatpants and a tight black t-shirt. I love the color black. It goes with my hair. The tight tank top shows my muscles and I'm proud of that. I have trained hard for years. I don't have my friends' phone numbers yet. I kept forgetting to ask. I walk down the streets of the city. I see a cafe that looks good. I open the door and look at the menu. Hello, welcome dash. The worker cuts off when they see me. That's how most people react when I'm in casual clothes. I smile. Hello, I say. I look at the menu and then order. I move my arm to grab a straw as I hear the doorbell ring signaling that people were coming in. By the sound of it, it was a group. I hear a gasps and I turn around. Kirishima POV. I didn't have Akira's phone number yet and neither did Mina. So I planned on going to her house to invite her to hang out with us after we went to the cafe that we like. In the group it was me, Mina, Bakubro, and Denki. We reached the cafe and I open the door. I'm mid-sentence with Denki when I look inside. There is a girl with long black hair and is wearing a tight black tank that shows all of her muscles perfectly well. There were edges of a scar poking up from the edges of the tank top. Her breathes were large and baggy. She moved her arm and her back muscles rippled. Mina gasps and she turns around. Oh my god. It's Akira. She grins. Hey, she said. Her name is called and she turns to take her drink. The worker is staring at her as she walks towards us. She might actually be more built than Bakubro. I'm just staring. How did we not notice this? Even Bakubro is just staring. If she was just slightly taller, she would terrify most pro heroes. What the hell? Denki says, staring. She laughs. That's how most people react to seeing me in casual clothes. I worked hard in training for nearly 10 years. Why the hell did she look so nice? Bakugo grunts. Mina turns to him. No wonder she beat Shoto in hand-to-hand. Bakugo couldn't even take her. The blonde glares at her. Kira POV. I grin as Mina teases Bakugo about my training. Kirishima is still staring. I grin at him and he grins back. I stay with them while they order their drinks. Bakugo doesn't order anything because apparently he doesn't like coffee. I don't even know why he came if he doesn't like coffee and doesn't like to hang out with extras. I walk with them and I talk with them. I ignore all the stares I get. I'm used to it. I mean, I guess that's why happens when you train hard for 10 years to prevent getting kidnapped again. We stop at a park. I see a tree and lean on it while the others take a spot on the bench next to the tree. I ask them for their phone numbers as I kept forgetting to do. Bakugo refuses, but they added me in the Class 1A group chat and I get his number anyway. The group chat says hi and I say hi too. Mina asks the other to meet us at this park. And that she had something she wanted to show them. I look at her and laugh. She grins back at me. Achiko, Ida, Shinso, Jiro, and Momo respond and they said they will be here soon. I grin. I can't wait their reactions. I scratch my scar. It itches sometimes. I hiss when I hit a part that hurts. I look back to my phone, ignoring the pairs of eyes that turn to me. I see Achiko get here first. She stops and stares at me and Shinso comes up beside her. DMN. Nice. Shinso says and walks to Mina. I grin. Ida runs in and barely misses Achiko. Uraraka. Please watch where you're dash. He cuts off when he sees me. I grin and he just stares. Jiro walks up slowly. She just grins at me and walks to Denki. Achiko and Ida walk towards us and asks me question on how I trained and I told them. When I finished my coffee, I turn around to throw my cup in the trash can behind me. I feel his hand on my back and it connects with a painful part of my scar on my back. I hiss in pain and leap forward, turning around. I see Achiko with her hand half out. She lowers it and giggly says, I'm sorry. I thought it was a scar. I didn't mean to hurt you. I sigh. It is a scar. It just hurts sometimes. I say, walking closer. She takes a step back and looks down. I am taller than her, so I'm not surprised when she gets scared of me. I walk around her and turn to the other. I gotta go. Bye, I'll text you all later. They all wave and I walk away from the park. I sigh. I walk home and I unlock the door when I get there. I shut the door and throw my stuff on the couch. I am too tired to go to my room right now. I might have to though. My back stings and I might need to apply the DMN lotion that the doctors gave me after I got it. I hate doing it because it's hard to do by myself because I can't reach most of my back. My dad is usually at work, so I have to do it by myself. I sigh. Unless I have to, I won't. The DMN lotion is supposed to help the healing process and to make it feel better. Like burn cream for a burn. But it's ice cream for a ice scar. I walk to the fridge and pull out a container of leftovers. I usually make meals for myself, and sometimes I make too much food for me to eat. I stand back up and a huge bolt of pain shoots up my back. I grab onto the counter to hold myself steady. My legs feel weak from the pain. God damn it, I should have used the lotion. I hear a knock on my door. I can't move or I'll fall. The door cracks open. I turn to see S familiar face. Hey Akira? I wanted to know if you're Dash. He cuts off at the sight of me barely being able to stand up. Oh, Sichti. He runs up and helps hold me up. I hiss when another jolt of pain shoots up my back. He steps me on the couch. What can I do? Kirishima asks. In my room. On the dresser. A green container. Grab it. I say through gritted teeth. He runs off up the stairs. He is quick and sits down by me again. I reach to take it and he pulls it out of my reach. Let me do it. He says. I sigh. It's better than me doing it. I pull up my shirt most of the way to reveal the scar. It covers from my breaths line and up. It covers less area towards my shoulders. It ends in spikes as ice would. He takes a breath. It is bright and is obvious. He opens the container of lotion and starts to apply it. I grunt and clench my teeth. Sorry. He says. I shake my head. It's not his fault. He applied it all over my back and once it starts to take effect I sigh in relief. I pull down my shirt again, carefully. Better now? He asks and I nod. Thanks. I say. He grins at me and I give him a soft grin back that I attempted to stand but he pulls me back down. What are you trying to get? My food. I say. He gets up and grabs it for me. I sigh again. Thanks. I'm not used to other people taking care of me. He is silent for a moment. You usually take care of yourself? I nod. And my dad? He isn't home a lot of the time. In the last 2 days I've seen him twice. I cook for him and me. But it's okay, I like that. He looks a little mad. I shake it off. He just cares. We end up watching a movie. I lean against him to prevent my back from touching the couch. He doesn't seem to mind. He is careful not to accidentally hurt my other scars. It's nearly 9 p.m. when the door opens and I hear a sigh. Hey Dad. I yell looking up from Kirishima's shoulder. Hey kiddo. I stand and hiss quietly. I see Dad look at me. Your back hurt again? Did you put your lotion on it? I nod. My friend helped me. I point to Kirishima who waves to my dad. My dad waves back. Did you make dinner? Yeah, it's in the fridge. I responded sitting back down. Your dad's nice. Kirishima says. I nod again. He is just glad I have friends. I didn't have any in elementary or middle school after the incident. I say looking back at the TV, he does the same. He leaves an hour later and I lay on my side texting in the group chat. Bakugu is yelling at me for irritating him and I'm yelling back at him to mute the group chat. Kirishima and the others are trying to call us both down. I sigh and text a final good night before falling asleep. I wake up early the next morning. On weekends I usually sleep until 9 but I wake up at 7 to my phone buzzing. I groan and sit up. I look at it. Tokoyami and Sui are talking about going to go shopping today. Mina and Momo agreed. I open my phone and type a response. Why the hell are you up this early? I'll go but I'll need coffee first. There is a pause in the group chat. Early what you mean? Mina asks. I usually sleep till 9 on weekends and last night was one of the nights I didn't have nightmares. So thanks. I say tiredly. I didn't even realize I told them about my nightmares until I was resting the group chat later. They start spamming and I muted them. Tokoyami had said in half an hour so I went and got ready to go. Time skipped to 7:30. I went to the coffee shop and bought a coffee before I walked to the mall. Outside was Kirishima, Shoto, Bakugu, Mina, Tokoyami and Su. They turned to see me in my casual clothes again. And Tokoyami stare for a moment as I walk up. Momo appears. We ready now? I ask, sipping my coffee. Tokoyami nods. We enter the mall and we start shopping. I pick out few clothes for me and my father. He doesn't get a chance to go shopping often. We are heading to another shop when I hear my name called. I recognize that voice and I snarl. I turn around slowly with an emotionless face on. I don't want to talk to my mother right now. Kirishima POV. I hear someone call Akira's name. It sounded female. She snarls for some reason. She turns around with an emotionless face on. She does look kind of annoyed. I turn too and see a black-haired woman. She looks like Akira. She is walking towards us, stumbling slightly. Akira scoffs. The woman gets closer. Close enough to talk to Akira. Hey Akira. The woman says. Akira crosses her arms. Who was this woman that made Akira so cold? Hello, mother. She says in a monotone voice. Mother? The same mother that went mad a few years ago? The same mother that hit and threw Akira and forced her to move with her dad to feel safe? The same mother that had a drag and alcohol addiction? I turn back to the black-haired woman. How are you doing? How are you and your father doing? The woman asks. Wouldn't you like to know? Akira says. It's more of a comment than a question. She is cold and is not happy. Hey, come on now. You know I'm getting better. I don't drink anymore. Akira lets put an outraged scoff. That doesn't change what you did. She says. Akira's mom looks upset for a second. I changed for you and you're not happy? She asks. Akira stares in outrage. I sense that Akira's mom has made a mistake. I step in front of Akira to stop her from doing anything harsh, but she pushes me away, gently saying, Kirishima. Just don't. I hate the way she says my name in that cold, hard voice. I never want to hear it like that again. She steps closer to her mother, who flinches back. You changed for me? Is that what you said? You changed for you. I will never forgive you for what you did to me and Dad. I swear to God, if you ever. She activates her quirk and she has fire running down her while back. She says the next sentence very quietly and menacingly. Ever try to talk to me or my friend again, I will rip your eyes out and shove them so far up your butt that you will be able to watch me tear open your carcass, and I'll burn you to ashes. She snarls. I am actually terrified. Her mother flinches back. Akira straightens and deactivates her quirk. She turns around and grabs the bags she set down and walks away. I follow her, not looking back at her mother again. The others stay behind for a second longer before following us. Akira gets outside. She sets the bags down. She snarls loud enough for passerbys to look at her. She activates her quirk and there is a huge burst of flame before it lowers, and it just rests on her back and shoulders. She turns. Should I get closer? Her top lip is raised in a snarl and her eyes are wide in anger. Her furs has made claws at the end of her hands. I put my bags down and raise my hands to show I mean no harm. The others come up behind me. Bakugo is starting in shock and Shoto is staring in fear and amazement. She sighs and the feral look about her leaves. She relaxes and her quirk disappears. She straightens. Sorry. She says, looking away. It's all right. It's not your fault. We didn't know she was supposed to be here. I say. She nods and picks up her bags again. Let's go before I follow up on my threat. She says. She turns and leaves and our group follow her. Shoto speaks up. Wish I could threaten my dad like that. She turns to give him a small grin. I can do it for you. She says. The half and half boy looks shocked. Quirk and name. I'll do it for free. She says. I know she is just angry, but I also dislike Shoto's father. Endeavor. Number 1 hero. Quirk Hellfire. Shoto says like he is reciting it from memory. She grins, even better. She says. I speak up. I sigh. Akira, we are not insulting Shoto's father. Why not? It will be fun. She says. I roll my eyes. Bakugo is grinning. Akira sighs. Fine. It would be fun though. We walk to the same park as yesterday. It's nearly noon. Akira POV. We head to the work and I'm already calming down. I sit in the bench and pull at my phone. I have no new messages. I hear Kirishima say something about looking for a good food place. I raised my head. We can go to my house. Akuk. I say. Kirishima and Bakugo look at me. I shrug. I can make katsudon, or something else if you want. I say, side glancing at my phone. That sounds great. Kirishima says. Mina nods. Sui, Shoto, and Tokoyami said that they will pass. Bakugo speaks up. Someone else wants to come. The DMN nerd only wants the free katsudon. He says, not looking up from his phone. I laugh. They can come if they want. I usually cook in big amounts anyway. Me and my dad can't usually finish all the katsudon I make in a day anyway. I stand and head to my house. It's not far from the park, thankfully. My leg is starting to hurt and I'm limping slightly. Kirishima notices. You all right? I nod. I'm fine. Just hurts from time to time. He nods. Mina is constantly trying to talk to Bakugo, who is ignoring her and typing on his phone. I walk down the familiar road and the others follow me. I reach the house and I unlock the gate. Bakugo looks up to get my address. He sees the house number, then back at his phone, and then quickly back up at the large 2-story black and white house. I grin at his odd expression. It's not much. I say. He scoffs and texts my address to the other person. I pull out my key. I unlock the door and step in. I run up to put my bags in my room. I put the lotion on my pocket just in case. You can sit or something, I say. Mina and Kirishima sits. I go to the kitchen, which can be seen fully from the couch. I pull out what I need. I grab the chicken and the noodles. To start to make it. I catch the blonde glance at me occasionally. I shake my head slightly. I turn my head to grab the skis from the cabinet and a sharp stab of pain shoots up my neck. I clasp a hand to my neck, quickly looking down. I let out a small yelp of pain. Kirishima and the others quickly look at me. Kirishima stands and I quickly raise a hand. It's fine. Just a muscle spasm. I'll be fine. I look at him with one eye and a small reassuring grin. He sits back down slowly. All right, if you're sure, he says. I nod and turn to grab the skis again. I hate how my scars always hurt at the worst times. Bakugo POV. The DMN girl suddenly lets out a yelp of pain. I look up and so does the other two. She has a hand clasped to her neck where the scar is. Her eyes are shut and her head is tilted down and to the right. My hair stands and she raises a hand. It's fine. Just a muscle spasm. I'll be fine, she says with one eye open and a small smile. He sits back down saying, all right, if you're sure. She nods and grabs the skis she had reached for before. I hear the nerd knock on the door. Bakugo, can you get that? The girl asks from the kitchen. The smell of skis fill the house. I grunt and pull open the door. The DMN nerd stands there fiddling with his hands. Hey Kaken, he says. I pull the DMN nerd in. He steps in. He takes a deep breath. Smells good, he says. Akira looks up from the pan. Oh, hey Deku, she says, waving slightly. A timer goes off and she steps away from the pan. She goes to the pantry. I notice she is limping. So does the nerd. Mchum. He hums. I roll my eyes. Kira POV. I go to the pantry limping. I know that the greenite and the blonde see me. Deku is only a few inches in front of the blonde. He is also slightly shorter than the angry blonde. I grin as I walk to the pantry. I pull down the ingredient I needed and I put it in the pan. I hear a timer go off from my father's room. Was he home? I turn and stare down the hallway for a second. I activate my quirk and send a small firebird down the hallway. It flies away. It returns. I sigh. He forgot to turn his alarm off. He wasn't home. I turn the temp down. The bird disappears. I limp down the hall. I grab onto the counter as support. I go to my father's room and turn off the alarm. Bakugo POV. I see the girl notice the alarm. She turns and stares down a hallway for a second. Then a blue bird made from her blue flames appears from her hand and it flies down the hallway. It returns. She sighs and it disappears. She turns the temperature down on the stove. She limps down the hallway and the alarm goes quiet after a second. The DMN nerd is being a nerd and taking notes about her quirk. The girl comes back limping. Her face is set in a grimace. She walks back to the stove. Food's done. You can serve yourself. There is enough for everyone. She says, limping to take a seat in the kitchen. The nerd and I are the first there. She pulls a small green container out from her pocket and puts it in the counter. She rolls up her left breathe sleeve and reveals the large scar on her leg. She applies what's in the green container to her scar while the nerd serves me and himself. Kirishima isn't far behind me. She closes the container and rolls down her breathe sleeve again. She stands and walks up the stairs. I notice she isn't limping anymore. The nerd takes a bite of the food. He pauses. Is it bad? His face lights up. DMN. It's much better than yours, Kaken. Better than mine? I doubt that. I take a bite. Holy HT, he's right. It is much better than mine. How though? What did she do? Of course it is. I have had years to answer the recipe. Kira says. I turn and see her leaning on the wall that leads up to the stairs. She is watching us eat. What the hell did you do? I ask. Not telling. Figure it out yourself. She says, grinning. I growl. Oh. I know where I'm going for Katsudon. Hihiwai Hair says. You've never even had mine. I growl at him. Exactly. He says. I roll my eyes. The girl comes closer and puts a portion of the food in a container and puts it in the fridge. I'm guessing that's for her dad. Kira POV. My phone buzzed from the counter. I turn to it after putting my dad's food in the fridge. I turn it over to see it's from my dad. Be home soon. Did you make food? I respond. You have friends over. It's in the fridge. It shows read and he doesn't respond. That happens often. I look up. To the others eating my food. I don't usually have anyone else eat my food other than my dad. They are talking and I grin. I turn back to my phone. I hear the door open. The others fall silent. Hey Dad. I yell. No response. I snap my hair up. He always responds. I snarl softly and I summon a bigger version of my firebird. It shrieks and flies away. I stand. The bird returns. It tells me what's happening. I snarl again louder. I step in front of the others who are watching in stunned silence. I decided that for this situation that I will summon some parts that will help me. I summon my fire wings that will detect any movement and tremor in the air currents. I fold them back. I give myself my claws and I keep the firebird, but I turn into a hawk instead of a crow. I shrieks again and flies in circles. The man enters the room and I snarl again. He stops and turns to look at me. I stand there snarling. The blond man with black eyes looks at me. He is skinny and slouches lightly. He looks scared for a second when he looks at my claws, wings, and the hawk soaring over my head. I stare at him. I hear a shriek behind me. All Might. I turn to see Izuku staring at the man. You know him? I ask and the green nods. I straightened and the man looks back at me. You're one lucky BSTRD. I say. He sighs in relief. I came looking for young Midoriya. He left abruptly in training. I return to my phone. My wings and claws disappear with the hawk. The man named All Might stares at me for a second. Aren't you the kid I rescued 10 years back? Back to home, I don't know. Are you? There is a puff of smoke and I recognize the tall man in front of me. He indeed had been there when I was held at knife point. I move my hair to show my knife scar. S&D the man becomes small again. You are. We say at the same time. I grin. Hey Tashinori. I say. Izuku looks at me. Tashinori? I nod. That's what he told me to call him when I was at knife point so that he would be able to recognize me and put me in the hero course if I wasn't put into it later. And yes, I am in the hero course. Class 1 taught by Aizawa. The man sighs again. That's good, young Tanaka. Young Midoriya, you should return to your training. The green nods and says thanks for the food and leaves. I sit down. Well, that was unexpected. I say. Before Tashinori and Levi say, next time announce your presence and why you're here. I say, throwing a spice container at him. He catches it and puts it on my counter. Will do, young Tanaka. He walks out with Izuku. I tell the others that my dad will be here soon. ADM they finish their katsudon and leave. Time skip to next day. I enter the classroom as I always do. I sit in my spot and class starts. Due day we will go to the USJ for training in recuses. The Hero 13 will be there. Put on the hero costumes that you requested for and met Nexus and I at the front of the school to get on the bus. I get changed in the locker room. My costume is the same as my casual clothes except I asked to have them made with fireproof materials, that way when I use my quirk my clothes won't burn. I get some stares from my other classmates but I don't care. I meet the others at the front of the school. Everyone has cool costumes but I couldn't think of anything, so I went with what I'm comfortable with. To test the material out I summoned my wings and stretched them out. When the shirt didn't burn I grinned. I deactivated my quirk before we got on the bus. I like your costume, Kirishima said. I look at him. It's nothing special. It's just my casual clothes turned fireproof. Your costume is much better, I say. He grins but he turns away. I like that he liked my costume. He turns back to me. It doesn't need to be cool or special. Costumes help your quirk and are meant to help your movements. If you're comfortable in that and you know that it won't burn, then is a good costume. I grin and he grins back. That we get to the USJ and we stand in a group in front of the teachers. Time skip to right before Kuriguri teleports them because I'm lazy. Everything that happens before that in the anime happens. Bakugo charges at the smoke villain and Kirishima does the same. They miss and the villain laughs. Suddenly I'm floating. I hit the ground. I stand and see I am in the fire zone. I turn and see Kirishima and Bakugo behind me. You alright? I ask. Kirishima nods and Bakugo grunts. I sit down. What are we gonna do? There are villains attacking. We need to help our fellow classmates. Kirishima yells. We can just blast through them. Bakugo says, grinning. They made one mistake. I sighed. I have my eyes closed. And what's that? Bakugo sneers at me. They put me in the fire zone. I put my hand over the small flame next to me and I absorb it. I look up at them. I can collect fire of any kind and it boosts my attacks. If I absorb a huge amount of fire I can blast a large attack. I say, can you absorb fire and store it so you can still use your quirk? Kirishima asks. I nod. I sense movement. I click my tongue. They looked at me and then the direction I'm looking. Bakugo smiles. I go to the fires and start to absorb the fire. It goes out and I feel it collect. I grin. We get through the villains and I have absorbed a lot of fire from the fire zone. There is a large creature pinning down Aizawa. What the hell is that? Bakugo roars. Due to all the fire I collected I can't control my quirk well. I just snarl and shake my head. Kirishima looks at me concerned. A man with hands on him steps out. What do you think of my Nomu? It's made to destroy All Might. And that is the last thing that ticks me off. I send a wave of fire at it, careful not to burn Aizawa. It doesn't even touch the amount of fire I have saved. The thing called a Nomu roars back from the heat of the wave. I summon my wings. I fly up to it and take a knife I had in my hidden knife sheath. I slit the Nomu's neck, but it just heals. That Nomu has a speed healing quirk. You can't defeat it. It was made to defeat All Might. It throws me off and I drop the knife. I fly back up and I grin at the man. Will it speed heal if I do this? I plunge my arms into the Nomu's exposed brain. It roars in pain. I put as much firepower as I can into my arm and blast it, though the Nomu's body it roars in pain. Suddenly a huge and long fire dragon does a loop around me. It hesitates in the air before also plunging into the Nomu's brain. The last thing I see is darkness. Kirishima POV. Akira slits the Nomu's neck but it just heals. She is thrown off after the man with hands says something along the lines of, "You can't defeat it. It was made for All Might." Akira soars up on her fire wings. She lands on the Nomu's shoulders again. I heard her very clearly this time. Will it speed heal if I do this? She throws her arms into the Nomu's brain. She sends a huge burst of flame that covers all of her arms. Her wings grow nearly 3x as large. There is a huge explosion of fire and there is a dragon that loops around her twice. She is staring at the Nomus and grinning. The dragon roars. It is deafening. It throws itself into the Nomus brain too. Akira, stop it. You will overwork your quirk. I yell. She doesn't hear me. The Nomu gives one final roar of agony before exploding into ashes. Akira falls into the water unconscious. I run towards her and dive into the water. I grab her and pull her out. I struggled to get her limp body to the shore. Someone lifts her away from me. I look up to see Bakugo. I let him take her. I have myself out soaking wet. Bakugo lays her gently on the ground. I see that her arms are all burned. The back of her shirt is also burned. Her fire was so hot that it burned fireproof material. She must have stored up more fire than I originally thought. The man with hands starts scratching his neck aggressively. A reg! She wasn't supposed to defeat it. We are leaving Kuriguri. The smoke person makes a portal and they are gone. Suddenly there were pros. They run up to us and Aizawa. I am holding Akira. She will be okay. She will be. Bakugo gently pries her away from me so that the hospital staff can take her. I only struggle a bit before I slump to the ground. She will be fine. She is tough. She has been through worse. He says. I nod. Kira POV. I cough. God, everything hurts. I open my eyes and see a hospital room. I sit up and gasp in pain when my back burns. But not from my scar, but from something else. I raised my hands to see nearly all of my arms are bandaged. I lift the side of my shirt to see a huge bandage coving in stomach and back. I turn to the door. I stand and hiss in pain. A small spark of fire burst across my arm. I didn't do that. The door opens and I see Aizawa. He is bandaged about as bad as I am. Sit, problem child, or you will hurt yourself more. Look who's talking. I've been through worse. He says. So have I. I said, staring at him. He stared back before sighing. Just sit. I do. Do you remember anything? I nod. I remember running at a thing called a Nomu. It was attacking you. I remember storing up fire and unable to control my quirk, and I got angry and charged at the Nomu. I say. He nods. What's the last thing you remember? Think. I remember putting as much force as I could into my attack when my hands were in the Nomus brain. That's the last thing I remember. I say. The tired man sighs. Kirishima and Bakugo said that you used your quirk in the Nomus after absorbing fire from the fire zone. They said that when you used your powerful attack you summoned a fire dragon and your wings became 3x bigger. They said that after that attack the Nomu burst into ashes and you fell into the water unconscious. They helped drag you out before you drowned. I stare at the ground. I did that? I turned the Nomu into ashes? Why did my quirk activate when I didn't do it? I ask. The doctors say that due to you having never gained that much control over the attack you used, you won't have much control of your quirk over the next 24 hours. I look down. Great. I helped them, but I have disabled myself in the process. The door suddenly swung open. I jumped. Searing pain went through my back. I yelped. I turned around to see large blue wings made of fire. I turned back to the door to see Kirishima watching in fear and pain. Suddenly the pain was gone and I was gasping for air. Kirishima runs to me and hugs me. I hug him back. Bakugo comes in the room slowly. I notice that both of them are barely bandaged at all. I am still breathing heavily from the pain. Are you all right? Kirishima asks in my shoulder. I nod with my chin on his back. He releases me and turns to Aizawa, whose hair floats down. What was that? Kirishima POV. The moment I'm told that Akira is awake, I sprint to her room. I throw open the door and Mi looks at me. Suddenly she yelps in pain and the large blue fire wings are back. I see Aizawa activate his quirk. Akira's quirk is erased. The wings go away. She gasps for air. I run to her and hug her as ask her if she is okay, and she nods. What was that? I ask the teacher. Her quirk will be uncontrollable for the next 24 hours, so anything could trigger her quirk. I recommend that you leave. She will be fine tomorrow. School will be cancelled for a week. Aizawa says. I very reluctantly leave. Bakubro basically has to drag me. She smiled and waves. Kira POV. The hospital staff let me go home a few hours after that. Aizawa had instructed me not to leave the hour or something might trigger my quirk. So I lay in my bed all day texting in the 1A group chat. I was the only student that was majorly hurt. The others had some small burns, cuts and bruises. I prevented a lot of damage with defeating the Nomu. I roll over and fall asleep with the fading light of my phone as it turns off due to its screensaver settings. The next morning I hear knocking on my door. I groan and get up. I'm stuffed and sore. I stumble down the stairs and to the door. I open it and see Kirishima. Behind him is Mina, Bakugo and Denki. I look at them. What the hell are you doing here? I ask. I'm tired and I don't want to be up. Demon, you're cranky in the morning. Bakugo says. Well, I'm not the one knocking on my door at what? 7 in the morning, after I just fking knocked myself unconscious by nearly killing myself and destroying an invincible monster to save all of your lives. I snap back at him. They stare in shock for a second. Get your buttes in here. Give me 15 minutes. I say, throwing the door open and walking away as they enter. I take a shower and put on my usual casual clothes. I walk downstairs. I make a cup of coffee and sit at the table. Now what did you want? I ask, staring over my coffee. We wanted to know if you wanted to train with us today. Kirishima says cheerily. I groan. Not really. I can barely move at this point. Free coffee afterwards. I pause and think about it. Fine. I say. Denki and Mina yelp in joy. I give them a grimace. I chug the rest of my coffee and stand with them. We walk out and I text my father that I'm going out. He sends a thumbs up. Time skip. We head to training ground near the school. Mina and Kirishima go first. They practice hand-to-hand while I give them tips and pointers. They get it pretty fast, and while the other two pretend not to be interested, they listen to every tip and trick I give. There are few civilians who stop to watch. Eventually Mina challenges me to fight Bakugo with quirks. We both eagerly agree. More and more people stop to watch. They recognize me as the person who stopped the LOV and Bakugo as the person who placed first in the entrance exam. I go into a fighting stance. I summon my wings and claws. I summon the big wings. I fold them and they peek over my shoulders and my sides. Bakugo grins. Already have that attack down? I grin back and say yes. I summon a hawk and it shrieks above me. Even more people have stopped to watch. Bakugo charges and I jump and use his back to throw myself in the air. He whirls and uses his explosions to throw himself in the air. I dive and by hawk attacks from above, confusing the blonde. I fly behind the blonde and grab his waist. He yells and tries to hit me with an explosion, but I dodge it. I drag him into a dive with me. He can't free himself from my grasp. I dive quickly and when I'm a few feet from the ground I throw him at the concrete and pull out of the dive. I land as he struggles to get up. I switch the hawk to the dragon. It soars above me, spreading its wings and roaring. Bakugo turns to look at the massive creature behind me. I twitch my hand and it dives at him. Inches from him it turns into a wisp and throws him out of bounds. The wisp disappears and I deactivate my quirk. The wings and claws disappear. The crowd cheers when I'm standing alone on the platform. I see a flash of red wings. I squint but it's gone. I turn to Bakugo on the ground, struggling to get up. You good? I ask. He nods. I give him my hand. He hesitates before taking it and I pull him up. We call it a day after that. It's nearly 3 now. We go to the same coffee shop as when they first saw me in casual clothes. I order the same drink. I say goodbye and head back to my house. Min stops me not far from the shop though. Akira. Most of Class 1A wants to do a met-up. Could we do it at your house? We just want to hang out and play games. I shrug. Dad won't care. He would actually be happy. When? I ask. An hour or so. Mina says. Sure. I say, and Mina quickly pulls her phone out and texts the group chat. I grin and wave. I go home and text in the group chat until 4, which is when everyone is told to be at my place. I'm too sore to keep opening the door, so I prop it open and either the chat that the open-doored house is mine, even though they already had my address leaked by Mina. Bakugo and Izuku are the first ones, with Mina and Denki not far behind. Tokoyami and Achiko come next with Sui. Shinso and Kirishima are after them. Momo is the last one to arrive. I notice that Bakugo and Izuku never leave each other's sides. Everyone just hangs around talking until Mina shouts, "Bottle of truth and dare." There are a few yells of yes. We make a large circle and have an empty bottle in the middle. Sui is told to go first. She spins the bottle and it lands on Achiko. Truth or dare? Ribbit. Sui asks. Truth. Achiko says. Is it true that you float in your sleep? Achiko giggles and says yes. Achiko goes and it lands on Shinso. Truth or dare? Achiko says. Truth. Shinso says bored. Is it true that Aizawa is your dad? Achiko asks. No, it's not. Shinso asks and so on. It's Mina's turn. She spins it and it lands on Bakugu. Truth or dare? Mina asks cheerfully. Truth UDMN extra. Mina thinks. Just for that. Is it true that you and Deku are dating? There is a silence. Does it matter if we are? Bakugu snaps. Yes. Mina trills. Izuku throws a hand across Bakugu's chest before he can charge at the girl. Yes, it is Mina. Izuku answers. There are a few squeals from the girls. Nice. Bakubro. Kirishima says. Izuku grins while Bakugu scoffs. Bakugu spins the bottle. It lands on me. Oh no. I decided to take the worst of it. Truth or dare, nerd? He snarls at me grinning. Kaken. Izuku warns. Dare. I say hesitating slightly. There are a few oohs from the others. I dare you to kiss who you like. I stare. I turn to find him. I see him sitting 3 people to my left. His gaze connects with mine. He blushes and looks down. I crawl towards him and kiss him. Kirishima blushes even more. There is laughs, shrieks, and over all the noise Mina yells, I ship it. I pull away smiling. I turn to Bakugu and grin. He scowls at me. I turn to Mina and grin even more. I turn back to Kirishima who is grinning. I pay his cheek twice before going back to my seat. I spin the bottle once there is silence. It lands on Bakugu again. Revenge be. I snarl at him. The room erupts into chaos. I see him pale slightly. I hear him quietly say, "Oh." I grin even more. Truth or dare? You better not pick truth, you DMN chicken. He glares at me weighing his options. Dare. He snarls back at me. I grin even more. I dare you to kiss your boyfriend. Bakuga glares at me for a second before taking Izuku's chin in between his thumb and forefinger, turning the green Tez head towards the blonde. Bakuga leans in and kisses him. There are even more shrieks and laughs. Mina yelled, I ship it. Even louder than before. I grin. Bakuga pulls wuss. Izuku glares at him. Pathetic. The greenite says. Bakugu glares at him and then flicks him on the forehead. The room erupts into chaos again. Once it was silent again. Bakugu glared at me. Happy? He says. I grin even more. Yes. My ship has sailed. Now it's your turn. He spins the bottle and it lands on Denki. Truth or dare, Dun's face. Denki chooses truth. Is it true your mother is a pro hero? Denki grins. And nods. Denki spins the bottle and it lands on me. I can't think of a dare he could ask me that would be bad. So when he asks, I say dare. I dare you to sing a song you know out loud without missing a word. I think about the song. That would have to be Must Have Been the Wind by Alec Benjamin. Mina WHPs her phone out and gets ready to play it. It starts to play and I start to sing from memory. I heard a glass shatter on the wall in the apartment above mine. At first I thought I was dreamin', but then I heard the voice of a girl and it sounded like she'd been crying. Now I'm too worried to be sleepin', so I took the elevator to the 2nd floor, walked down the hall and knocked up on her door. She opened up and I asked about the things I've been hearing. She said, I think your ears are playing tricks on you. Swear zipped up to her chin. Thanks for caring, sir. That's nice of you, but I have to go back in. Wish I could tell you about the noise, but I don't hear a thing. She said, it must have been the wind. It must have been the wind. It must have been the wind. She said, it must have been the wind. It must have been the wind. It must have been the wind. So I was lying there on the floor of my room, cold concrete to my back. No, I couldn't shake the feeling. I didn't want to intrude, 'cause I didn't have all the facts, but I couldn't beat the thought of leaving her, so I took the elevator to the 2nd floor, walked down the hall and knocked up on her door. She opened up and I asked about the things I've been hearing. She said, I think your ears are playing tricks on you. Swear zipped up to her chin. thanks for caring, sir, that's nice of you, but I have to go back in, wish I could tell you about the noise, but I don't hear a thing, she said. It must have been the wind, it must have been the wind, it must have been the wind, she said. It must have been the wind, it must have been the wind, it must have been the wind. So I was lying there on the floor of my room, cold concrete to my back. No, I couldn't shake the feeling. I didn't want to intrude, 'cause I didn't have all the facts, but I couldn't beat the thought of leaving her, so I took the elevator to the second floor, walked down the hall, and knocked up on her door. She opened up and I asked about the things I've been hearing. She said, I think your ears are playing tricks on you. Swear zipped up to her chin. Thanks for caring, sir, that's nice of you, but I have to go back in, wish I could tell you about the noise, but I don't hear a thing, she said. It must have been the wind, it must have been the wind, it must have been the wind, she said. It must have been the wind, it must have been the wind, it must have been the wind. Aim my boombox at the roof playing Lean on Me, just so that she knows she can lean on me. And when she hears the words, I hope she knows she'll be okay. Aim my boombox at the roof playing Lean on Me, just so that she knows she can lean on me. And when she hears the words, I exactly what I'll say. Promise I'm not playing tricks on you. You're always welcome to come in. You could stay an hour or two if you ever need a friend. We can talk about the noise when you're ready, but till then I'll say, must have been the wind, must have been the wind, must have been the wind, must have been the wind. I'll say, must have been the wind, must have been the wind, must have been the wind, must have been the wind. The song ends and is stopped singing. There is a stunned silence. That's sad. But your voice is good. Mina says. I grin softly. Why the hell do you know that whole song? Bakuga growls at me. I had a friend that jumped. That was his favorite song and I listened to it a lot after his death. I said, looking away. I look back. The blonde has paled visibly and had looked down. Izuku leaned down to look at his face. Kaken. It's fine. It was a few years ago. It's fine. You didn't mean it. I watch. Had Bakugo told Izuku to jump? I shrug. It's nothing really. It was nearly 3 years ago. I said. What was his name? Kirishima asks. Hinata. I say. Kirishima pales too. I heard about that in the news. It was horrible. Denki said. I nod. Before anyone can say anything else, I hear the doorknob jingle. I reach for the hidden knives on my briefs pocket that I always have after the LOV attack. I unsheath one and it makes a nice, safe sound. I hold it by my side at the ready. The others go quiet and they watch me in the door. The door opens and I hear my father say, Kiddo, I'm home. I relax and re-sheath the knife. Hey, Dad. He stops and looks around. All right. He says and walks to the kitchen. I lean back. Top shelf blue container in the fridge. I yell, thanks. He yells back. The others watch. Are you always armed? Denki asks. I shake my head. Only recently. Meanwhile in town. The voice in the TV asks me to join a group called the LOV. What's in it for me? I ask. The voice in the TV laughs. There is a girl. Has blue fire like you. She can make it into anything. Birds, wings, dragons. She beat Tamura easily. If you help us, we will give you her quirk. I grin. I'm in. I say. The TV laughs again before shutting off and the whole room goes dark. I turn around and walk out the door. This will be fun. Kirishima POV. I was extremely happy when I left Akira's house late that night. I wasn't sure if she had felt the same way yesterday. For the past month, the only reason I got to hang out with her was because Bakugo, Mina, and Denki kept giving me excuses to hang out. They were setting us up. They also wanted to tell if she felt the same. Bakugo was only helping me because Mina and I had set him up with Deku a few weeks ago. I had told Mina how I felt the night of Akira's panic attack. She had helped me. They set me up tonight to see if she felt the same. She did and I was happy. I might text her tomorrow to ask if she wants to get coffee. I couldn't stop grinning on my way home. I have to remember to thank the others for putting up with my nervousness to ask her out and helped me have excuses anyway. I bump into Bakubro on my way home. Hey Bakubro. Thanks for putting up with me. I stay. The blonde looks down at me. Deku is by his side holding his hand. You're welcome, UDMN Extra. Even though you made me embarrass myself kissing Demon Deku in front of most of our class. I laugh awkwardly. Akira kissed me tonight and I wasn't embarrassed about that at all. Deku looked up at his blonde companion and grinned. Don't lie, Kaken. You know you enjoyed it. Bakubro looks down. So what if I did, nerd? Deku laughs and so do I. I wave goodnight and head toward my house. They're bickering in the background and fading. Kira POV. The next morning I wake up late. Not by much. Only half an hour. I look at my phone and see I have a message that was sent at exactly 9 a.m. I sigh and open it. I see it's from a private chat with Kirishima. It says, "Text me when you're awake, please." I grin. "I'm awake now. What you want?" The typing symbols pop up immediately like he was waiting. "Want to go get coffee with me?" "Hot beverage, yes." I laugh. "About DMN time." "Sure. Met at my house?" I say a thumbs up is sent. Knowing him, he is probably having a panic attack right now. Kirishima POV. At 9 I text her. It doesn't go as read for the next 10 minutes. She must be sleeping in today. I make sure my phone doesn't turn off once. I just sit and look at my phone waiting for the read symbol. It's 9:31 when it shows read. I JRK up. She responds and my heart starts racing. "I'm awake now. What you want?" She says and I take a deep breath. "Want to go get coffee with me?" "Hot beverage, right?" I immediately regret the emoji. I shouldn't have sent that. "Sure, met at my house?" She asks and I sent a thumbs up. I nearly screamed in happiness. She said yes. I pull open the group chat that is called the dating group. I didn't name it. Mina did. It consists of me, Mina, Denki, Deku, and Bakugo. I did it. I asked her out. She said yes. Typing symbols appear form all of them. Deku, good job. Congratulations. Have fun. Bakubro told you to hair. Now go enjoy it while you can. Mina, you go buddy. Go get her and have fun. Denki, good job bro. Have fun and keep us updated. I grin. I pull on a coat and head to her house. Kira POV. I'm right. When he gets to my door he is breathing heavily. I have a swallow on the door frame and his heartbeat is fast. I laugh. What? Is? I shake my head. Nothing. I say. I swipe my hand and the bird disappears. Where you spying on me? He asks. I shake my head and laugh again. Took you long enough. I say. He blushes and looks down. Give me second. My dad's home and I want to say bye. I shut the door and say goodbye. He waves and I leave. I make sure I'm armed as I have been since the USJ attack 3 weeks ago. We go to school again on Monday. 3 days from now. We walk side by side. He is stiff and is looking around. I laugh again. You're bad at this. I say. He laughs. Yeah, I know. He says, rubbing the back of his neck. I grin and bump into him. He stumbles. Hey. He bumps me back. I laugh and I run. He runs after me grinning. We get to the coffee shop and we are both breathing. I get my breath back before him. I win. I say. He laughs breathlessly. We enter. He notices my order. You have a fear of ice yet you ordered a ice drink? Is. I groan and roll my eyes. I can't stand warm coffee. I say. I sense something. My hand flies to catch something just before it hits Kirishima in the head. I look at my hand. It's a piece of paper. It says, "How do I hair over here?" I look in the direction and so does Kirishima. I see Bakugo grinning and Deku by his side. God DMNU. I say, throwing the paper back. It hits the table and bounces back to Bakugo. He catches it and burns it with us. Kyurk. Do you never leave us alone? I ask, taking a seat at their table. Kirishima joins me by my side. Well, we set that DMN nerd up and we wanted to take a day to ourselves. You just choose the same DMN coffee shop as us. Bakugo says. I roll my eyes. It's about time. I've been waiting for weeks. At least you encouraged him do something. Also, I thought you don't like coffee. I say. Deku. He doesn't. Unless I make it. He just orders food here when I get my coffee. I laugh. Sounds like Bakugo. The blonde flicks the green eat on the forehead. Izuku protests but Bakugo places a hand on his mouth. Izuku tries to say something then gives up with a huff and a look of annoyance. Suddenly Bakugo giggly lifts his hand away. What the hell, nerd? Did you just lick me? Izuku wipes his mouth. You would move your hand, so I made you. I laugh. I hear my name called and I turn, raising a hand. A work brings us out drinks. I take a sip. Bakugo's and Izuku's order isn't far behind. I take another sip of my coffee. I look back at the two of them. Bakugo holds an ice cube. But, oh no. Panic attack. I glare at him. Not funny. I say. I swat the ice away, careful not to touch it. My swallow swoops it and melts it. I look back at him. Oh. The ice is gone. Pout. I say. Kirishima and Izuku laugh. Why the hell are you afraid of ice anyway? It can't fing hurt you. Bakugo asks, leaning back in his chair. Actually it can. You know the huge scar on my back? He throws his chair back into place. That's from ice? He's shocked. I nod. I'm curious. How did you get your scars? If you want to tell, of course. Izuku says kindly. I look at Kirishima. I'm surprised you didn't tell them. He shrugs. I figured you should tell them yourself. He knows. Bakugo asks. I nod. So does Mina and Denki. I say. Put your hats on, cause this is long and sad. I say, sitting back in my chair, and I tell them how I got my scars. When I am done, Izuku is clutching the table so hard his knuckles are white. Bakugo is just staring at me. Well, SHT. I'm sorry. I did mean the ice joke. He says. I shrug. It's fine. You didn't know. I say. I'm sorry that happened to you. And you said all Toshinori saved you? Izuku asks. I nod. The doorbell rings and someone yells something. I turn and see 3 masked men with knives. SHT. Kirishima POV. I see the masked men with knives. I hear a chocked noise come from Akira. I turn and see her trembling. Oh, SHT. The kidnapping. Her trauma. DMN it. I turn to Bakubro, who has also noticed this. God DMN it. Get her somewhere safe. He yells. The men are now threatening the cashier works. Deku and Bakubro burst forward and take on the criminals. I take Akira and go to a wall that faces outside. Our backs are to the wall. She is breathing heavily and is clutching at her arms. I sit on her right and realize that at some point she hit her cheek on something and a bruise was forming. Bakugo and Deku were looking for us. Hey Akira. You have a bruise on your cheek. Can I put ice on it to help? No. No. She repeats, looking at the ground. It's all right, I won't hurt you. If it starts to hurt, you can pull away and it will be gone, okay? She hesitates, then nods softly. Bakubro hands me a piece of ice and I put it to her cheeks. She hisses and pulls away. I don't force her to do anything. She hesitates again and then by herself puts her cheeks back on the ice. I grin. I help with the swelling of her cheek and her panic attack. What happened to the people? I ask, holding the ice cube up for Akira. Bakugo grins. I knock them out. The DMN small fries. I shake my head at him. Akira moves away from the ice again. I turn back to her. The ice has nearly completely melted and it is dripping all over my hand and the floor. Her breathing has started to even out. There is a yell and Bakubro and Deku turn. The pros. Bakugo say before they walk away. Hear that, Akira? You're all right. The ice has completely melted now. She got over her fear for a few minutes, and that's amazing. She looks and gives me a soft grin. I hear footsteps and I see Aizawa. What happened, problem child? He asks me. I'm surprised you're here, sensei. School may be out, but I still have hero work to attend to. Now what happened? Izuku steps forward. I can tell you, sensei. Aizawa looks at me and Akira. He nods and they walk away. A few minutes later, and Akira is leaning on me again with her head in my shoulder. I placed my head on her head and we started into nothing. Aizawa came back. I can tell Deku told him everything because he is trying not to let the anger seep into his face and movements. I look up at him and so does Akira. He kneels in front of us. Hey kid, you alright? She nods. Aizawa stands again. I have to. I swear to God, if she has another panic attack, call me. I nod. He leaves and I laugh quietly. Kira looks at me. What? She asks softly. Nothing. This is not how I expected today to go. She shakes her head. A hand reaches out and I look up to see Deku. Akira takes his hand and he hoists her up. I stand. Aizawa POV. I walked out of the coffee shop. Did all of my DMN kids need therapy? I thought that the girl was at least okay. I was wrong. Kidnapped at 5, and held captive for nearly a week. I scoff and put my face in my scarves. There is the shriek of a bird. I turn and look to see a blue fire bird about the size of a crow. It soars above me in circles for a moment, before diving and landing on my shoulder. It tilts its head at me. It gives a soft shriek in my ear and then disappears in a whoosh. I grin into my scarves. It was Akira's way of saying, thank you. I continue walking to UA. I scan my hero card at the gates and it opens. I'm paying All Might a visit. Not a bad one. A thank you one. I walk into the building and the halls are as eerily quiet as they have been these past 3 weeks. The students will be back in Monday. I bump into a blonde. He steps back and looks at me. Oh hey Aizawa. Says All Might. Kira POV. After the coffee shop incident, I head home. Kirishima asks if I want him to come with me and I say no. I'm just going to take a nap. I do and I sleep until the next morning. I get out of bed at 8, not really early. I decided to do some of my own training. My burns were feeling better and with the medicine that the hospital gave me, I barely felt them. I take my knives and go to my front lawn. I have several trees in my front lawn and I aim at them. Some are big and tall, others small and short. That's what makes them good for target practice. I start my training. I throw knives and get used to the new weight that these ones carry. My original set had less weight and that's what made them great. I throw a knife towards the road and quickly turn after throwing it. I'm out of knives. I still haven't gotten used to the weight of them. I sigh. The hawk above me shrieks. I look at it then where I had just thrown my last knife. Kirishima stands there with the knife about a centimeter from his head. You missed, he said. I grin. I see someone move behind him. It's Shoto. I walk to Kirishima. I lean close to his face. I put my right hand on the knife. I didn't miss this. I give him a quick kiss before pulling the knife out of the tree. He grins. I test the weight of the knife in my hand. I sigh. I might have to pay someone a visit. Shoto POV. The girl is in a tight black tank top and baggy sweatpants. She throws knives at the trees in her lawn. Her muscles in her arms and back ripples with every tinny movement she makes. She throws her last knife at the tree Kirishima is leaning on and it barely misses his head. Her back is to us. A hawk shrieks from above her. She looks at it then at us. You missed, Kirishima says cheekily. She grins and walks to him. She leans close into him and puts her right hand on the knife. I didn't miss this. She gives him a quick kiss. She pulls the knife of the tree and I can tell she isn't used to it. She scowls at the knife in her hands. So, what are you doing here that near got you killed this fine morning? She asks, testing the knife in her hands. We wanted to hang out, Kirishima says. She throws the knife at a different tree. It is inches from the other one that was on the tree. She sighs. That's a lie. Kirishima sighs and then grins. We wanted to help you get over your fear of ice. As long as you want to, of course. Fine. But if we do that, I need to visit someone about my knives. She says and I agree. She takes all of her knives and wrap them up in a cloth. I follow her downtown. Have no idea where she is going. She turns down a side street. Is this legal? Shoto asks. Perfectly. Pros get weapons from this shop. This shop was actually recommended by Nizu for me. I also know someone there. She says. At the end of the alleyway was a large dark blue shop. The building has glass windows. She opens the door and yelled, Toka, get your butt over here. She walked to the counter the same time that a blue-haired guy about our age walks out from the back. Hey Akira. They fist bump. What's the problem? I look around and realize that this entire store is filled with knives and throw-able weapons. They're too heavy. I liked what I had last time. She said. The guy frowns and thinks. I think we have one order left of those. He takes the knives that Akira's had placed on the counter and walks to the back. He comes back with a box wrapped in black velvet. She opens the box to show a sharp knife that curved up at the tip. There were a few parts in the knife that was purposely missing chips of the blade. She took it by the handle and threw it at the target that was on the other side of the wall. It was a direct bullseye. "I'll take them again," she says and places a bag of money on the counter. The boy grins and goes to the back again. He hands her a tool belt with 12 knives on it. She takes it and we leave. The boy visible relaxes once we leave. Back at Akira's house. Akira POV. We walk back to my house, picking up coffee on the way. Shoto doesn't talk much. Kirishima never leaves my side. When we get back, I unlock the door and put my knives in my room. I check my phone for any texts from my dad. I see some from the group chat. I see it's mostly Deku and Bakugu. I open it and read it. "Deku, you goddamn bisurdi." Bakugu, "I didn't mean to." Deku, "You goddamn broke it." Bakugudash. Deku, FCKU. Bakugu, "When and where?" Deku dash, "Right here right now B. I'll FCK you up." Bakugu dash, "Oh he's at my door." Mina dash, "Run." Deku dash, "Yeah run you PPB." I bust out laughing. Deku was said. He is never really said. He is usually a shy twitchy broccoli boy, but when he said you better run for your life. "What?" Kirishima yells. "Read the group chat." I yell back at him. I hear laughter and I walk down the stairs. "I'm scared for Bakugu." Kirishima says and I laughs. "Me too." I say. I see Shoto come into the room with a tray of ice. I glare at it. "You'll be fine. You can just drop it if it starts to hurt you." Kirishima says gently. I nod, not saying anything. He takes a cube and hands it to me. I hesitate before taking it. It stings and I drop it hissing. "See. If it hurts you can just drop it." He picks it back up and I take it slowly. We repeat this multiple times. Eventually we run out of ice cubes after they melt in my hands or in the floor. I am not able to hold an ice cube until it completely melts yet. Kirishima hands me another one and I hold it in my hands. I turn to Shoto. "Why don't you talk much?" I ask. "I figured you were mad at me for giving you a panic attack, so I've been distancing myself with you." He says. I shake my head. "I'm not mad. I actually expected you to be here yesterday." He looks at me. "I thought you were mad at me." I say nope. I feel something drip onto my breathes and soak through. I look down to realize I'm no longer holding ice. I've held it for so long it melted and dripped through my fingers and onto my breathes. "Look, see you did it," Kirishima says, taking my numb hands and drying them. I grin at him. He looks so happy right now. We mop up the floor and put the ice tray in the sink. I hear banging on my door. "Demon nerd. Let me in." I look at the door. "Nope. You get to deal with the conciseness of your actions." I yell through the door. I hear Deku running. Bakugu yelps and I hear nails scrap against my door. I open the door to see Deku pinning Bakugu down with green electricity crackling over the green Tez body. I laugh. "Shouldn't have broke it now, should you?" I ask. Deku kisses Bakugu before picking the blonde up by his shirt. "You're a lucky bee that most of my anger went away when I was chasing you," Deku says under his breath. Bakugu turns to me and runs at me. I grin and a eagle takes the back of his shirt and drags him away. He rolls in the dirt and stands. He watches the fire eagle disappear. "Demon traitor." He snarls at me. I shrug. "Not my fault you set him off." I say. Kirishima peeks out the door. "What did you even do to PSS him off?" Kirishima asks. "Yakakin? What did you do?" Deku asks. "I broke on of his all-might figures," the blonde said quietly. I burst out laughing. "You're lucky he didn't kill you." I say. "He would regret it later." Bakugu says, staring at the greenite. "Wouldn't you, nerd?" Deku shrugs. "Probably not." Bakugu stares at him in outrage and scoffs. "Before you dumbasses kill each other, either get your buttes in here or get off my lawn." Deku doesn't hesitate and walks in my house. Bakugu reluctantly follows. I decide to start making lunch since it's nearly I make katsudon again. The others like it. Even Shoto, who says he usually only eats cold soba. I tell him I can make soba. He gives me a soft grin. Eventually I kick them all out of my house because I need to clean the house and I haven't done that in days. Even Kirishima doesn't want to leave. Either leave or help me clean the 2-story house. He leaves quickly. They open the door to leave and there is a hooded man standing there. I quietly pull out a knife that I had sheathed. It's one of the ones that I bought today, so it's a good knife. I step in front of the others. Who are you and what do you want? I ask the man. I hide the knife so he can't see it. The LOV wants your quirk. So, you have 2 choices. Either come easily or fight me. I pretend to think. I'll fight you. I dodge to his side and I'm out the door before he can turn. I take the knife and stab him behind the shoulder blades. He roars. His hood falls down and shows his black hairs and his purple skin and his staples. I grin. I will win this fight. I see a blue flame flicker over his arm. Same quirks as mine. I say. He grins. Unfortunately for you, there is no way you can win. He looks confused for a second. And why is that? I laugh. Tomura must not have told you. You're about to find out. I summon my big wings and the sparrow as before. He grins. Wings and a small bird won't defeat me. He sends a wave of fire over me. I absorb it. When it fades, he stares at me. I grin. I summon my claws and I draw another knife. I dart behind him where the other knife is. He can barely catch up with me. I drag the knife down his back. He roars in pain and sends a burst of flames at me from his back. I absorb that too. I kick him away from me. He looks to be about. He rolls on the ground. I summon the dragon and add the fire I absorbed from the man, making it 10x as strong. It hits him as a wisp. He roars in pain again before I take the handle of the knife to the back of his head, knocking him out. He slumps. I stand up and the dragon returns. It circles around my waist. It snarls quietly. I turn to the others. They are staring at me. Kirishima POV. When the man threatens Akira, a sense of rage comes over me. I would destroy anyone who tried to harm her. She fights the man without getting hurt. She absorbed the fire and used the attack to summon the fire dragon. It attacks the man and he goes flying. She kneels next to him and uses the hilt of the knife to knock him out. My knees nearly buckle. I clutch the door frame for support. She's safe. She's all right. It's okay. She stands and a smaller version of the dragon wraps around her waist and it snarls quietly. She turns to us and I can tell she is exhausted. She starts to collapse and I run and catch her. She slumps in my arms. I sigh a breath I didn't know I was holding. She's safe. Bakugo takes her from me. He takes her into the house. I take my phone out and call Aizawa. The man says he will be there in about 10 minutes. Aizawa comes and takes the villain. He says that the hero agency has been looking for this villain for a while. His name is Dabi. They don't know his real name yet. I head back into the house after Aizawa leaves. Bakubro and Deku haven't left yet. They seem to be staying to make sure I'm okay. I open the door and they follow me. I see Akira sitting on the couch with her head in her hands. I quickly sit next to her. You all right? I ask. She nods. Just tired. That attack takes a lot of energy. She says. I nod. I look to Bakubro and Deku. They wave and leave. I wave back and turn back to Akira. She leans on me and I grin. She falls asleep quite fast. I look at my phone and see the group chat has texts. Bakugo dash, you will be alright, right? I send a thumbs up. Mina dash, want me to come over to be emotional support? I say no. Shoto dash, hopefully I helped today. I told him he did. Achiko dash, what's happening? I don't respond to that one. Aizawa dash, problem child. Will both you and the other problem child be okay? I tell Haim that we will. I set my phone down and fall asleep with Akira. I wake up. I look over to look at Akira. She's gone. I bolt up and look around. I see her sitting at the kitchen table reading by the stove light. I stand and she looks me. Hey, sleepy, she says. I nod. What you doing? Yes. I'm studying. For when we go back to school. I nod. I look at the time. It's nearly. My mom is probably freaking out right now. I have to go. She nods and waves. Kira POV. I fall asleep studying. My dad wakes me up before he leaves in the morning at nearly. I stand and stretch, and I check my phone. I have about a dozen texts. Some are from Kirishima directly, others are from the group chat. I read them. Kirishima, did you sleep okay? 9 a.m. Did you sleep in? 9:30 a.m. Akira? Are you there? 9:40 a.m. You must have slept in. Text me later. 9:55 a.m. I text him back saying I just woke up. It doesn't go as read for nearly 10 minutes. Bakuga dash, my hair won't stop bugging me. Wake the hell up. 9:35 a.m. Mina dash, Bakugu. She will wake up when she does. We go back to school tomorrow. 9:36 a.m. Bakuga dash, okay alien. 9:37. Mina dash, okay angry Pomeranian. 9:38 a.m. Bakuga dash, I'll show you angry Pomeranian. 9:38 a.m. I grin and text that I'm awake. Deku dash, morning. I text them for a while. I decide that today I will clean the house as I should have done yesterday. I put my phone down and start cleaning. I start with upstairs. Upstairs is my bedroom, a closet, and the attic entrance. It's not much, but the attic gets really dusty. I finish upstairs and I start in the kitchen when I hear a knock on my door. I groan quietly. I open it and see Kirishima holding 2 cups of coffee. Hey Akira. I got you coffee. I take the cup he hands me. Thanks. You can come in. I'm cleaning though, so don't make a mess. I tell him. He nods and I let him in. He sets his coffee on the counter next to mine. Want me to help? Yes. I shrug. You can start in the living room. I hand him a duster and we start cleaning together. Why are you doing this? Yes. If I don't do it, it will just collect and become really dirty. I say. Remember, the more you do, the faster we can hang out. He works fast and proper. We don't talk much until we finish. When we finish, the house looks much better. He takes a sip of the coffee that he barely touched at all while cleaning. Bleg. It's cold. He sighed. I laugh. How do you like this? You go a different coffee than I do when I order cold brewed. Here, taste this. Hand him my cup. He takes a sip. It's better, but I prefer hot coffee. I laugh again and take a sip of my coffee again before putting the cleaning supplies away. Once that is done, I grab a coat and head out. Where are me going today? I ask. Bakubro said we can hang out at his house with him and Deku. I nod. I've seen Bakuga's house in pictures from Deku before, but I've never been there in person. Bakuga's house isn't far from mine. A few blocks at most. Kirishima knocks on the door and a blonde-haired woman opens it. Oh, hello. You must be Katsuki's friends. We nod. 1 second. She turns and yells, Katsuki. Your friends are here, Bakugu yells back. They aren't my friends. I grin. I walk closer to the woman and tell over her shoulder. She gives me a approving look. Yeah, we are Katsuki. If we aren't, you're an angry Pomeranian. Kirishima laughs and so do I. The woman grins. Don't you dare call me Katsuki, you DMN Firebird. He says, stomping down the stairs. You're not my friends and I'm not an angry Pomeranian. He growls at me. Oh, but you are, boy. The woman. Old hag, I swear dash. He gets cut off when she smacks him. He growls. I like your mother, Katsuki. I say, grinning. Oh, call Matsuki. She says. I grin. I swear if you call me Katsuki dash, I cut him off this time. Or what, Kaken? Or what? Deku favors me, and if you so much as lay a finger on me, both Kirishima and Deku will FCK you up. Matsuki grins. I like your friend. Bakuga's mother says. I'm Akira. I say. Nice to meet you, Akira. Bakuga's mom says. She's not my dash. He grunts and gives up and stomps up the stairs. Deku comes bolting down the stairs and he hugs me. Hey, broccoli. I say. Me looks up and grins at me. He is practically vibrating with happiness. Oh dear God. Who gave you too much coffee? I ask. He bounces up and down slightly. Bakuga gave me a limited edition All Might figure from America. I sigh and grin. Deku and his All Might figures. The small green-haired boy bolts back up the stairs after his boyfriend. You know they're dating, right? Matsuki asks me. I nod. We're dating each other, I say, pointing to me and Kirishima. He grins nervously. I start to climb the Kira POV. We walk back to my house, picking up coffee on the way. Shoto doesn't talk much. Kirishima never leaves my side. When we get back, I unlock the door and put my knives in my room. I check my phone for any texts from my dad. I see some from the group chat. I see it's mostly Deku and Bakugu. I open it and read it. Deku, you goddammit bisirdi. Bakugu, I didn't mean to. Deku, you goddammit broke it. Bakugudash. Deku, FCKU. Bakugu, when and where? Deku dash, right here right now B. I'll FCK you up. Bakuga dash, oh he's at my door. Mina dash, run. Deku dash, yeah run you PPB. I bust out laughing. Deku has said. He has never really said. He is usually a shy twitchy broccoli boy, but when he said you better run for your life. What? Kirishima yells. Read the group chat. I yell back at him. I hear laughter and I walk down the stairs. I'm scared for Bakugu. Kirishima says and I laughs. Me too. I say. I see Shoto come into the room with a tray of ice. I glare at it. You'll be fine. You can just drop it if it starts to hurt you. Kirishima says gently. I nod, not saying anything. He takes a cube and hands it to me. I hesitate before taking it. It stings and I drop it hissing. See. If it hurts you can just drop it. He picks it back up and I take it slowly. We repeat this multiple times. Eventually we run out of ice cubes after they melt in my hands or in the floor. I am not able to hold an ice cube until it completely melts yet. Kirishima hands me another one and I hold it in my hands. I turn to Shoto. Why don't you talk much? I ask. I figured you were mad at me for giving you a panic attack, so I've been distancing myself with you. He says. I shake my head. I'm not mad. I actually expected you to be here yesterday. He looks at me. I thought you were mad at me. I say nope. I feel something drip onto my breathes and soak through. I look down to realize I'm no longer holding ice. I've held it for so long it melted and dripped through my fingers and onto my breathes. Yes. Look, see you did it. Kirishima says, taking my numb hands and drying them. I grin at him. He looks so happy right now. We mop up the floor and put the ice tray in the sink. I hear banging on my door. Demon nerd. Let me in. I look at the door. Nope. You get to deal with the conciseness of your actions. I yell through the door. I hear Deku running. Bakugu yelps and I hear nails scrap against my door. I open the door to see Deku pinning Bakugu down with green electricity crackling over the green Tez body. I laugh. Shouldn't have broke it now, should you? I ask. Deku kisses Bakugu before picking the blonde up by his shirt. You're a lucky beastie that most of my anger went away when I was chasing you. Deku says under his breath. Bakugu turns to me and runs at me. I grin and a eagle takes the back of his shirt and drags him away. He rolls in the dirt and stands. He watches the fire eagle disappear. DMN traitor. He snarls at me. I shrug. Not my fault you set him off. I say. Kirishima peeks out the door. What did you even do to PSS him off? Kirishima asks. Ya kaken? What did you do? Deku asks. I broke on of his all-might figures. The blonde said quietly. I burst out laughing. You're lucky he didn't kill you. I say. He would regret it later. Bakugu says, staring at the greenite. Wouldn't you, nerd? Deku shrugs. Probably not. Bakugu stares at him in outrage and scoffs. Before you dumbasses kill each other, either get your buttes in here or get off my lawn. Deku doesn't hesitate and walks in my house. Bakugu reluctantly follows. I decide to start making lunch since it's nearly I make katsudon again. The others like it. Even Shoto, who says he usually only eats cold soba. I tell him I can make soba. He gives me a soft grin. Eventually I kick them all out of my house because I need to clean the house and I haven't done that in days. Even Kirishima doesn't want to leave. Either leave or help me clean the 2-story house. He leaves quickly. They open the door to leave and there is a hooded man standing there. I quietly pull out a knife that I had sheathed. It's one of the ones that I bought today, so it's a good knife. I step in front of the others. Who are you and what do you want? I asked the man. I hide the knife so he can't see it. The LOV wants your quirk. So, you have two choices. Either come easily or fight me. I pretend to think. I'll fight you. I dodge to his side and I'm out the door before he can turn. I take the knife and stab him behind the shoulder blades. He roars. His hood falls down and shows his black hairs and his purple skin and his staples. I grin. I will win this fight. I see a blue flame flicker over his arm. Same quirks as mine. I say. He grins. Unfortunately for you, there is no way you can win. He looks confused for a second. And why is that? I laugh. Tomura must not have told you. You're about to find out. I summon my big wings and the sparrow as before. He grins. Wings and a small bird won't defeat me. He sends a wave of fire over me. I absorb it. When it fades, he stares at me. I grin. I summon my claws and I draw another knife. I dart behind him where the other knife is. He can barely catch up with me. I drag the knife down his back. He roars in pain and sends a burst of flames at me from his back. I absorb that too. I kick him away from me. He looks to be about. He rolls on the ground. I summon the dragon and add the fire I absorbed from the man, making it 10x as strong. It hits him as a wisp. He roars in pain again before I take the handle of the knife to the back of his head, knocking him out. He slumps. I stand up and the dragon returns. It circles around my waist. It snarls quietly. I turn to the others. They are staring at me. Kirishima POV. When the man threatens Akira, a sense of rage comes over me. I would destroy anyone who tried to harm her. She fights the man without getting hurt. She absorbed the fire and used the attack to summon the fire dragon. It attacks the man and he goes flying. She kneels next to him and uses the hilt of the knife to knock him out. My knees nearly buckle. I clutch the door frame for support. She's safe. She's all right. It's okay. She stands and a smaller version of the dragon wraps around her waist and it snarls quietly. She turns to us and I can tell she is exhausted. She starts to collapse and I run and catch her. She slumps in my arms. I sigh a breath I didn't know I was holding. She's safe. Bakugo takes her from me. He takes her into the house. I take my phone out and call Aizawa. The man says he will be there in about 10 minutes. Aizawa comes and takes the villain. He says that the hero agency has been looking for this villain for a while. His name is Dabi. They don't know his real name yet. I head back into the house after Aizawa leaves. Bakubro and Deku haven't left yet. They seem to be staying to make sure I'm okay. I open the door and they follow me. I see Akira sitting on the couch with her head in her hands. I quickly sit next to her. You all right? I ask. She nods. Just tired. That attack takes a lot of energy. She says. I nod. I look to Bakubro and Deku. They wave and leave. I wave back and turn back to Akira. She leans on me and I grin. She falls asleep quite fast. I look at my phone and see the group chat has texts. Bakugo dash, you will be alright, right? I send a thumbs up. Mina dash, want me to come over to be emotional support? I say no. Shoto dash, hopefully I helped today. I told him he did. Achiko dash, what's happening? I don't respond to that one. Aizawa dash, problem child. Will both you and the other problem child be okay? I tell Haim that we will. I set my phone down and fall asleep with Akira. I wake up. I look over to look at Akira. She's gone. I bolt up and look around. I see her sitting at the kitchen table reading by the stove light. I stand and she looks me. Hey, sleepy, she says. I nod. What you doing? Yes. I'm studying. For when we go back to school. I nod. I look at the time. It's nearly. My mom is probably freaking out right now. I have to go. She nods and waves. Kira POV. I fall asleep studying. My dad wakes me up before he leaves in the morning at nearly. I stand and stretch and I check my phone. I have about a dozen texts. Some are from Kirishima directly, others are from the group chat. I read them. Kirishima, did you sleep okay? 9 a.m. Did you sleep in? 9:30 a.m. Akira? Are you there? 9:40 a.m. You must have slept in. Text me later. 9:55 a.m. I text him back saying I just woke up. It doesn't go as read for nearly 10 minutes. Bakuga dash, my hair won't stop bugging me. Wake the hell up. 9:35 a.m. Mina dash, Bakugu. She will wake up when she does. We go back to school tomorrow. 9:36 a.m. Bakuga dash, okay alien. 9:37. Mina dash, okay angry Pomeranian. 9:38 a.m. Bakuga dash, I'll show you angry Pomeranian. 9:38 a.m. I grin and text that I'm awake. Deku dash, morning. I text them for a while. I decide that today I will clean the house as I should have done yesterday. I put my phone down and start cleaning. I start with upstairs. Upstairs is my bedroom, a closet, and the attic entrance. It's not much, but the attic gets really dusty. I finish upstairs and I start in the kitchen when I hear a knock on my door. I groan quietly. I open it and see Kirishima holding 2 cups of coffee. Hey Akira. I got you coffee. I take the cup he hands me. Thanks. You can come in. I'm cleaning though, so don't make a mess. I tell him. He nods and I let him in. He sets his coffee on the counter next to mine. Want me to help? Yes. I shrug. You can start in the living room. I hand him a duster and we start cleaning together. Why are you doing this? Yes. If I don't do it, it will just collect and become really dirty. I say. Remember, the more you do, the faster we can hang out. He works fast and proper. We don't talk much until we finish. When we finish, the house looks much better. He takes a sip of the coffee that he barely touched at all while cleaning. Bleg. It's cold. He sighed. I laugh. How do you like this? You go a different coffee than I do when I order cold brewed. Here, taste this. Hand him my cup. He takes a sip. It's better, but I prefer hot coffee. I laugh again and take a sip of my coffee again before putting the cleaning supplies away. Once that is done, I grab a coat and head out. Where me going today? I ask. Bakubro said we can hang out at his house with him and Deku. I nod. I've seen Bakuga's house in pictures from Deku before, but I've never been there in person. Bakuga's house isn't far from mine. A few blocks at most. Kirishima knocks on the door and a blonde-haired woman opens it. Oh, hello. You must be Katsuki's friends. We nod. 1 second. She turns and yells, Katsuki. Your friends are here, Bakugu yells back. They aren't my friends. I grin. I walk closer to the woman and tell over her shoulder. She gives me a approving look. Yeah, we are Katsuki. If we aren't, you're an angry Pomeranian. Kirishima laughs and so do I. The woman grins. Don't you dare call me Katsuki, you DMN Firebird. He says, stomping down the stairs. You're not my friends and I'm not an angry Pomeranian. He growls at me. Oh, but you are boy. The woman. Old hag, I swear dash. He gets cut off when she smacks him. He growls. I like your mother Katsuki. I say, grinning. Oh, call Matsuki. She says. I grin. I swear if you call me Katsuki dash, I cut him off this time. Or what, Kaken? Or what? Deku favors me, and if you so much as lay a finger on me, both Kirishima and Deku will FCK you up. Matsuki grins. I like your friend. Bakuga's mother says. I'm Akira. I say. Nice to meet you, Akira. Bakuga's mom says. She's not my dash. He grunts and gives up and stomps up the stairs. Deku comes bolting down the stairs and he hugs me. Hey broccoli. I say. Me look BGness up and grins at me. He is practically vibrating with happiness. Oh dear God. Who gave you too much coffee? I ask. He bounces up and down slightly. Bakuga gave me a limited edition All Might figure from America. I sigh and grin. Deku and his All Might figures. The small green-haired boy bolts back up the stairs after his boyfriend. You know they're dating, right? Matsuki asks me. I nod. We're dating each other. I say, pointing to me and Kirishima. He grins nervously. I start to climb the stairs and Kirishima is right behind me. I'll bring up food in about an hour. Matsuki says. Okay, old hag. Bakugu yells from his room. I walk up to his room. The door is open and I enter. I see Deku on Bakuga's bed and Bakugu in his chair leaning back on it from his desk. One day you're gonna fall and I'm going to laugh at you. I tell him and I lean on the door frame. Kirishima enters. Kirishima goes and sits near Deku. Hey Baku bro. So what did you want? Kirishima asks. Bakugu scoffs at him. I wanted to train with you extras. We go back to school tomorrow and I need to be ahead of the other Diamond extras. Deku. I grin. So, you basically wanted to hang out. I say. The blonde snarls at me and I send a hawk soaring over him. I hear footsteps on the stairs and look out. It's Mitsuki. She is holding a tray of snacks. She enters and I take my part. I hiss when my back stings. They all look at me. I'm fine. It's nothing. There is a moment of silence before they continue talking. Matsuki smacks her son when he growls at her. She glowers at him. He rolls his eyes. She leaves. Stairs and Kirishima is right behind me. I'll bring up food in about an hour. Matsuki says. Okay, old hag. Bakugu yells from his room. I walk up to his room, the door is open and I enter. I see Deku on Bakuga's bed and Bakugu in his chair leaning back on it from his desk. One day you're gonna fall and I'm going to laugh at you. I tell him and I lean on the door frame. Kirishima enters. Kirishima goes and sits near Deku. Hey Baku bro. So what did you want? Kirishima asks. Bakugu scoffs at him. I wanted to train with you extras. We go back to school tomorrow and I need to be ahead of the other Diamond extras. Deku. I grin. So, you basically wanted to hang out. I say. The blonde snarls at me and I send a hawk soaring over him. I hear footsteps on the stairs and look out. It's Mitsuki. She is holding a tray of snacks. She enters and I take my part. I hiss when my back stings. They all look at me. I'm fine. It's nothing. There is a moment of silence before they continue talking. Matsuki smacks her son when he growls at her. She glowers at him. He rolls his eyes. She leaves.